Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sophie and I'm a barber, and in this video we're going to be doing a trimmer test on a live model to show you guys the differences between a standard blade and a deep tooth blade. If you caught my video earlier, there was a video that I had just done. It was a video explaining the difference between a fine tooth blade, a standard blade, and a deep tooth blade. I've been searching everywhere for a fine tooth blade, and unfortunately I don't have one here with me today, so we will only be testing the standard versus the graphite. We're gonna do a bulk test, and then we're also gonna do an edge up test so you guys can see the difference. I'm super excited to do it as well because I actually have not done it side by side. So I'm gonna do it on my really good friend. She has coarse, straight hair, so that would be a really great person to try this on. So these are gonna be the two trimmers that we're testing today. You have your gold blade here and then your graphite blade here. The gold right here is gonna be your standard blade, and then this right here will be the deep tooth blade that we're gonna be putting together side by side, and we're gonna see how they work on a real model. By the way, the lens that I'm using is one of my newer lenses, Sigma Art 35. Pretty incredible. I really love the quality of it. Has a really nice manual focus. Everything's gonna be shot in 4K, of course, so we have the best details possible for this test. So I hope you guys are excited as I am. I'm just waiting for my model to show up, and then we're gonna get started. We got the two trimmers here, graphite and the gold, black effects and the gold effects. And then we're gonna use this for the first time. You guys have seen this, I posted this piece. This is my most recent creation on the Custom FX app. If you guys haven't tried it, make sure to check it out. It's the Babyliss Custom FX app, and you can legit build your own just like this here. So I'm gonna take you guys kind of through it. So I gave it a yellow ring on the bottom, black handle, white housing, green logo, blue arm, and if you want a special colored button, the secret is you want to shoot Dennis a DM and just tell them your order number and tell them what button color you want, and they can actually switch that out for you. And of course, oh shit, I just realized I thought I ordered a fade blade, but this is actually a taper blade. So that's funny because I chose the fade blade, but at the same time I wanted to try a graphite taper blade because I haven't had one of these yet. So I am interested in seeing how this one works out. So I'm excited to try that out even more now. So I'll put that to the test as well when I get into when I do a fade today. Excited to try that out. Everything is adjusted. Okay, so we're gonna do this test. This is gonna be the bulk removing test. We're gonna do the graphite on the right, and then we're gonna do the standard blade on the left side. And I'm just gonna pretty much go at regular speed that I would normally do it, so it doesn't look too off, and I'm not trying to run through it really quickly. All right, so we're gonna start with the right side. This is going to be the graphite blade. That was pretty smooth. All right, now we're gonna do the gold side, which is gonna be your standard blade. Also pretty clean. If I have to say, the graphite blade definitely cuts through a lot smoother. I felt a little bit of resistance from the standard blade, and the reason why, and it really does make sense, is that your graphite blade has wider gaps in the teeth, so that allows a lot of hair to kind of push through the blades a lot smoother than this one because it runs a little tighter. But both were very effective in being able to remove bulk real nice and simple and quick without it, getting stuck on the stubble. So that is definitely a win for the deep tooth blade and also the standard blade. edge up part, kind of the test to see how this edges up on the side. So we're gonna do just a little loop in this area here. So this is gonna be the standard blade. Looks pretty tight already without a without a razor line yet. But let's go ahead and check the other side, and we're gonna do the graphite test. So here we go. This is the deep tooth blade now. Same thing on the front. Both of these are 0 gapped. So I could definitely sense a difference when using a deep tooth blade to line up versus a standard blade. There is definitely a better grab when you are using a standard blade, just because you have the blades a lot closer together to get that really crisp line. But all in all, I think you can still get it done with both. It's just there is a definite detailing when you are using a standard blade or a fine tooth blade. I would assume for sure that that edge up is going to be real nice and crisp even after just one pass. And one last part is when you are, you know, creating a little bit more weight up here, but you don't want to cut it off. I'm trying to preserve this space here because I want to make sure it stays pretty squared. If you saw in the video earlier when I was doing the edge up, this area looked a little dark. This is where the head starts to round in, so I want to make sure I don't completely round it in and keep a little bit of weight, but also trying to maintain that darkness to light contrast. Is that you grab some good texturizing shears, bigger gaps if possible, and you're just going to lightly move through this area just to lighten that up. And this is gonna allow you to also not remove too much hair. You're kind of just creating gaps within the dark space so that you have a nice gradient of shade. So now when you see it, it's lighter without taking all the hair off. But now the transition looks a little smoother. Same thing here. And I'm just using the comb to kind of pull out those hairs and cutting literally just a couple strands sometimes. It's just enough to get that shade the right color so that I have a nice blend consistency there. And also another trick that you could do is get a flat top comb if you'll have a lot of excess at the top. I got a number 2 guard on here just so I can keep it as long as possible. And you want to comb down from that undercut. I get super critical about this part of going into that long hair. So you always want to make sure everything stays pretty separate. You're going to hold this down, that'll create that shape, and then you just cut off the edges there, and that'll help you with this, with a couple of those flyaways at the end. So you're not going into the hair and you're brushing it towards where the hair is going to fall. And also when I'm doing the finishing details, I kind of like to use the more wider space side of the comb so that I can grab the hair and it doesn't get caught in anything, and it's just kind of a nice softer grab versus like with the fine tooth side, it separates too much. This way it also matches my shears, my texturizing shears. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys the final review update, is that this is gonna win for doing edge ups in one pass. So what that means is, you know, I can go through the whole thing with one pass and get a nice clean scoop. versus having a deep tooth blade. It's catching the hair well, but it's not leaving a super clean mark as you're going through it sometimes. So I have to go over it a couple times. And that is kind of the difference. And it totally makes sense if you think about how close the teeth are versus the deep tooth blade. They're a little further apart. And then you have the standard blade and the teeth is a little bit tighter. You're gonna get a nice cleanup. And when I'm gonna think about the bulk removing, I'm gonna give it to the graphite blade. I'm gonna give it to the deep tooth blade. And to review the first time using a tapered graphite blade, keep in mind I always use fade blades most of the time. This is equipped with a taper blade. As you can see here, you have more of a bevel shape, right? That's what makes a taper blade softer. And I think when I was using this today, I'm so used to the fade blade going so close to the scalp. I felt like I just couldn't measure with a taper blade because it's been a while. But regardless, it did the job. As you saw in the haircut, it still did its own thing. I just felt like I had to adjust or go over certain spots a couple more times because I'm used to a flat blade running super tight for the scalp versus having the bevel blade, which is creating more of a really C-scoop motion. And then another thing to think about too is when I was using the trimmer blades, even though, I mean, if you are using a straight razor to finish off any of your edges, both of these are gonna get you there because as long as you have the shape that you're going for, you're gonna be able to follow through with that razor real nice, and that's gonna be the end result of the precision shape that you're creating. That's my review on these two blades. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, share this video to anybody who needs more information on the test of these two types of blades. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you always. I'll see you next time.